When you think about iconic anime, the first anime you think of is Dragon Ball Z. The craziest part of Dragon Ball Z to me is how drastically different people rank it. Some niggas have Dragon Ball Z undisputed top 5 or top 1, and some people think Dragon Ball Z is garbage. And I'ma come clean, I think Dragon Ball Z is a little overrated. Maybe a lot of overrated. Dragon Ball Z was my first ever anime. A nigga like me was charging up trying to become Super Saiyan 3. Like deadass, as a kid, it was Yu-Gi-Oh!, then Dragon Ball Z. But I'm not gonna lie, the older I got, the more I realized Dragon Ball Z's faults. The three things I want to cover for Dragon Ball Z are the characters, the character development, and the stakes. One thing a lot of anime does that Dragon Ball Z for the most part doesn't is give multiple characters shine. So to me, the main case of this is the MC himself, which is Goku. I know this is shonen, but like, damn bro, other niggas can win a little. Dragon Ball Z, to a degree, it became a waiting game for Goku. It was a game of wait for Goku. With Vegeta, Frieza, and Buu, like everyone knew that Goku, first of all, that was a bar, I'm not gonna lie, but with Vegeta, Frieza, and Buu, everyone knew that Goku was gonna be the final fighter, and everyone was essentially filler until that happened. And that's unfortunate too, because like when you look at the Cell arc, it looked like they were turning the corner. They had this really good development with Gohan, you know, building his hidden potential that we saw throughout the entire series and having it explode, pause, with Super Saiyan 2. If they continue that path, you know, Dragon Ball Z could have been, I'm not gonna lie, super decent, because you had Frieza being the Goku arc, then Cell was the big Gohan arc. Goku even deliberately decided to stay dead and allow Gohan to be the savior. And guess what happened after that? Gohan basically then decides to not train for 7 years and basically relinquishes his role as potential MC. It's to the point that in the Buu Saga, a lot of the Z cast could have been wiped and not much would have changed. When was the last time Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, or Chaozu did anything of note? We're going maybe Saiyan Saga? Like we're going back pretty far before they did some shit that people cared about. And even like Goten and Trunks, they're new characters, but like think about their impact as characters in the entire series. Like what have Goten and Trunks ever done of value if we're gonna keep it a bean? Or Piccolo, who is one of the few characters in my opinion in Dragon Ball Z that has great character development. But what is the last thing he did of note? The guy's last major contribution was fighting Imperfect Cell or beating second form Frieza if you want to go there. And this entire time I've avoided talking about the character who has the worst treatment in the entire series. Yes, worse than Chaozu, Krillin, and even fucking Yamcha. That nigga is Vegeta. To me, it's crazy because Dragon Ball Z's gotta be the only anime franchise where the second most known character in the entire like franchise is the most disrespected character in the series. Count up the amount of times Vegeta's gotten his ass handed to him on a silver platter. It's actually staggering, bro. This nigga Vegeta gets beat periodically. Like it is bad. It's to the point where Toriyama literally uses Vegeta to show how powerful the main villain is. You know, the main villain, that nigga that's gonna eventually get beat by Goku, yeah. We're gonna use Vegeta to get his ass beat first so you know that this thing is scary. So when Goku beats him, it's a big deal. The worst example of this treatment to me is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. So we have this movie about Frieza coming back, you know, which is, if you didn't know, a perfect opportunity for Vegeta to get his revenge. We know Vegeta and Frieza, there's the whole dynamic. Obviously, Frieza basically holds Vegeta for a good amount of his youth. So Vegeta is the nigga who wants to get the get back more than Goku. Goku even ends up fighting Frieza and ends up losing to him because he's careless, which is one of Goku's faults. And it's perfect because like that clears the way for Vegeta to finally have his win against a main villain and to get some much needed love. And I'm not gonna lie, it was beyond disrespectful that not only did Vegeta not get the kill, but they used time travel to make Goku get the win. The promotional videos even made it seem like it was gonna be Vegeta's time to get the dub. Like people were hyping up the movie as if, oh, this is the movie where Vegeta's gonna be the main guy and he's gonna get all the love that Goku gets. Vegeta couldn't even get this time. This would have been the perfect arc for him to do it. I'm not even saying that One Piece or Naruto are perfect series, but the way they handle their secondary main characters are just so much better. So Sasuke and Zoro were given their own villains to conquer and, you know, battle. And sure, you can say they weren't as strong as the main villains that Luffy or Naruto end up facing, but they don't have to be, because with Zoro and Sasuke overcoming their villains, we get to see those characters in a positive and a respectful light. So when Sasuke beats, you know, Deodar, it's like, okay, that's tough, good shit. Zoro ends up beating Kaku. It's like, okay, good shit. We know Kaku's not as strong as Lucci, but Zoro gets to have his time in the spotlight where he's that nigga. Vegeta just doesn't get it. Like, they just don't care about that nigga for real. It's so bad, even when he fuses with Goku, the nigga still can't get a win. Like, all the times they fuse, they never get the dub. All that happens is they fuse, they're OC strong and OC cocky, and then they defuse and Goku ends up basically doing most of the heavy lifting for the W. It's like, bro, like at that point, what's the point of the fusion? We just go disrespect Vegeta in every merit that we can? That's crazy to me. When you look at the series and the characters, it becomes very predictable because we know it's gonna be mostly Goku. Regardless of what happens in the arc, Goku's gonna get the spotlight. Like, I don't even read Dragon Ball Super and stuff, but I heard about Vegeta's new form, the Ultra Ego form, where he was like, you know, dogging the opponent, and he was like, oh shit, Vegeta got a form that Goku couldn't attain. And from what I understand, he still lost to the opponent. So it's like, bro, at this point, the nigga Vegeta just can't get a dub. But that's not the only reason that Dragon Ball Z is overrated. Like, don't get this shit fucked up. There's more. Another reason I think that characters in Dragon Ball Z are very useless, or they became more useless as we gotten farther in the series, is because of the power system that Dragon Ball Z has. They have a very, very linear power system with crazy power creep. Because of that, it's very easy for niggas that aren't strong to get shafted. So once we get Super Saiyan 2, there's no need for Super Saiyan 1. And obviously, I know that Dragon Ball Z, they kind of threw little things to kind of make other forms important, like, oh, this form, it takes too much energy to sustain. But even with that, there is still a clear linear progression on the forms. It's to the point now where Goku's, you know, he has the Ultra Instinct and stuff. There's no need to use Super Saiyan 2 or 3. Because there's not much nuance with Dragon Ball Z's power system, the battles become very predictable and basic. And obviously, the way Dragon Ball Z is, the only people that can contribute in a battle are the people that are strong. If you look at One Piece, for instance, there's a fight where Luffy fights against Cracker, and obviously Nami's not nearly as strong as Cracker or Luffy, but because of the way the power system is set up, she's able to be a big contributor in that battle despite her lack of strength. And similar for like Naruto, the fact that the Dragon Ball Z power system is very non-nuanced, and then you look at the fact there's a big gap between Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the cast, it makes sense why only 2 niggas can contribute. And the second nigga, who's Vegeta, is just his only contribution is getting his ass beat. So another thing I want to point out is villains. A good series has to have good villains. For as much hype Dragon Ball Z gets, I'm not gonna lie, none of the villains ever stuck out to me. Frieza was just some guy who wanted to rule the universe. Cell was like an android that had an undying thirst for killing Goku based off his, you know, programming from Dr. Gero. I'm not gonna lie, that is a decent to cool premise. Like, the Cell stuff was kind of cool, but then you have like Buu, who's just this fucking monster kid who mindlessly aims to destroy the universe. When you compare those guys to like Aizen or Pain or Madara, Doflamingo, Light, or even Crollo, it's like, bro, there's no comp. When you look at all this stuff, we have a bunch of characters that are just dead weight, an MC who admittedly isn't the most interesting, and lackluster villains. When you compare all that to like other series, I don't personally see how Dragon Ball Z is this gold standard that a lot of people have set for it. So I'm gonna be honest. One of the last things with Dragon Ball that I want to kind of cover is stakes. You have to feel shit is gonna pop off when shit pops off. And I think a big part of why Dragon Ball Z's stakes are not crazy high is, you know, it's in the title, Dragon Balls. Pause. You have 7 orbs, they can make almost any wish happen. You had like Vegeta and Nappa, and they killed a bunch of the Z team or whatever. But like, niggas weren't worried because we could just bring them niggas back. It makes the series a lot less interesting when you have characters that can just come back to life. This nigga Goku has died 2 times. He came back every time. Like, we're not that worried. The nigga can come back. You compare it to a series like Vinland Saga. When a character in Vinland Saga dies, that nigga's going to die. It's up. I know Naruto has the Arena Rebirth and stuff. Like, there are ways that other anime have done it, but to me, it's just so much more blatant than Dragon Ball Z. It's literally a thing where it's all right, get the Dragon Balls and we're safe. And it's crazy that people don't point this out, because the one time they made sure the Dragon Balls couldn't be used in the Dragon Ball Z verse was one of the most interesting storylines we ever got, which was the Future Trunks stuff. Like, Future Trunks, he was living in a timeline where the Dragon Balls didn't really work. And because of that, when niggas died, they died. So when Future Gohan died, I was like, shit. As a kid, I was like, damn, that's my nigga for real. Gohan's dead. He's not coming back though. That's some shit that Dragon Ball Z can't currently do. And I'm not even saying that they kill off people every arc, but it's just the fact that even if niggas do die, we're not that worried. Goku died in the Cell arc. It was a little sad, maybe, but Goku was the one who declined to come back. Like, we have to point that out. He could have came back and he didn't. It just almost feels like a kid writing the cartoon. It's like, all right, well, I don't want this character to die. He's got to come back. The funniest part to me is that a lot of the issues that Dragon Ball Z suffers from, Dragon Ball did not. So it's just kind of funny to me that Dragon Ball Z is the one that's the more popular one. It gets all the love and recognition, but there's an argument out there that it's not even the better of the 2 series. Does Dragon Ball Z have hype moments? Of course. Does it have iconic moments? Of course. But when you're critically thinking about the series of Dragon Ball Z, it's not as hard as other series. That's kind of like the main points on why I think Dragon Ball Z is a little overrated. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to check out my Discord in the description, obviously, and like and subscribe for the video. More content on the way, but I'm out, so peace.